Hello and welcome to another edition of Reality Check. I'm your host, Scott Branan.
And I'm Patty Cummings.
It's going to be an interesting show. We actually have someone on the phone who's waiting. We're going to get to them in just a second because we have a huge topic today.
And you don't want to miss this.
Stick around.
Stick around. So we're going to start with a video real quick, which most of you already have heard of this name, Sidney Powell. I love this woman. She gives me goosies. Let's release the Kraken. Wow. Yeah.
Of globalists,
you all have heard her talking.
Dictators, corporations, you name it. Everybody's against us except President Trump and we the people of the United States of America. I'm going to release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken! I don't know. So weird. Okay. So, what is this all about? Like, I have been in a hole, I guess, for like the past few weeks, doing the day-to-day stuff, and apparently there's a lot of crazy stuff going on.
There is, and actually this is going to be old news in probably about an hour, I'd say. Everything's just happening so fast. It's like minute by minute, things are changing.
At least we're right on the edge.
Yeah, we are. Okay. And, you know, Sidney Powell, she's such a powerful attorney. And the lady that I have on the phone with us, her name is Dianne Marshall. She's going to get into a little bit of Sidney Powell and how powerful she is and why she is the woman to handle and represent us here in the United States of America. You know, she stands strong. She's powerful. She's bold. She's courageous. And she is taking on the swamp rats. And I am so proud of her. You know, this is news to you, Scott, in so many ways, and I know you're probably going, what's really happening here? But Dianne Marshall, who's on the phone with us right now, released an article about 48 hours ago and it's gone viral. She cracked the Kraken. The big news, big topic for a week is, what is the Kraken? When is the Kraken getting released? What is it? Is it the sea monster? Is it the Clash of the Titans? What is it? Well, Dianne Marshall's going to tell you exactly what the Kraken is. But what's so nice about what has just taken place, she wrote this article in a matter of hours. It went viral. It went so viral that it's been retweeted. It got retweeted by President Trump. President Trump. And guess what happened to Trump? All the media hit on it, called it a conspiracy theory. Why would you retweet this? Well, from there, Sidney Powell wound up retweeting it, and then General Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we had Lynn too, and then we had Flynn. So it has gone so fast all over Twitter. Twitter is now starting to put false accusations up. You know how Twitter's banning everything. Actually, a few people even got kicked off of Twitter recently. Actually, so did Sidney Powell yesterday for a few hours. She was banned from Twitter. But that's a whole other topic. Anyway, we're very excited to bring Dianne Marshall on board to kind of share with you of how she cracked the Kraken and what it is. Are you guys ready?
So let's go to the phones.
Okay.
And we should have the official graphic. There it is. And we're going to be talking with Dianne Marshall.
Yeah.
So let's see. Dianne, are you there with us?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Hi, Dianne.
Thank you so much for taking time and being on the program. We appreciate it.
So,
well, I'm glad to be here.
So before we really get into the guts of everything, Dianne, do you want to kind of go over a little bit about Sidney Powell and how powerful she actually is as a prosecutor attorney, please?
Well, Sidney Powell is just a dynamite. I looked at her just on her law firm. Anybody want to check it out to see if I'm telling the truth? Just go to her Sidney Powell attorney, Google it. This woman has a resume that is out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
This woman is I don't even know where to start. If you were to put her resume out, even in an abbreviated form, I think there's like 4 or 5 pages just on on her internet, without going into all of the different things she's done. But mainly, the biggest claim to fame, I would say, is that she's tried over 500 appellate cases, which are Supreme Court cases, and had 180 of those published, and I think 350 were done for the prosecuted for the United States of America. This woman is a powerhouse. She's a powerhouse prosecutor and defender, but she specializes in appellate court, which is appeals. And
Wow.
there are so many levels of the government that when you see, oh, she's an attorney, she can't be a JAG, she's not this or that. Well, heck no, she's not. She's more powerful than that. She worked for the Department of Defense for the United States of America for years in Texas. She knows what she's doing, and she can represent whatever she wants to in a Supreme case or in a tribunal case, period. Check her out, challenge her.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Strong.
Here's what happened. She puts out the law cases. And immediately people start saying, she misspelled this.
I saw that. That's all they could say.
Oh my goodness.
Grammar police came out of
They have
nowhere. That's
no
all they could say
idea
about
that
it.
they have no idea that there's certain ways that you address things for certain courts and congressional districts. So who looks stupid? This is like what they do to Trump all the time. They come out with, he says one thing and they all go, oh, look how stupid he is. And they are the fools. Because they don't understand what he's saying. They have no comprehension skills and that very, very low IQs, obviously. The same with what they're doing. If you don't understand what they're doing, then sit back and learn. Because I'm learning. I had no idea how these courts worked, but I looked into it based on what they told us to look into. And why did I do that? I got tired. I got really upset. I got tucked off by Tucker. When Tucker was like, give us the evidence, give us the evidence.
Yeah,
and
made me mad too.
If he can't see that 756% of somebody voting in a district is way off when there's only 100% to go by. They found in Michigan, for example, in the precinct township in the city of North Muskegon in Michigan, they had a 781.91% turnout. Is that not evidence of some kind of voter fraud? And in their Zeeland Charter Township in Michigan, they had a 460.51%. Wow! All the dead for forever in Zeeland Charter Township rose up from the dead and came to vote. Grout Township, 215.21%. City of Muskegon, 205.07%. City of Detroit, 139.29%. Spring Lake Township, 120%. Wow, Michigan, you had such a turnout. And then everybody else seemed to have 100%, except for Grand Island Township, they had 96.77%. Now, how in the heck does that happen?
I know that I've read a few places where there's only been a few states where the total number of people who voted for Biden was more than who voted for Obama in the same areas, except it's only in the states of the swing states. It should be the same throughout the entire map across the United States. If there was a percentage more people that voted for Biden than voted for Obama, which I think I find that hard to believe to begin with, but let's just say that it is because Facebook did their big, huge push to have everybody vote or something. It would still be the same approximate percentage across the entire United States. But the fact that it was a much larger percentage only in the swing states should kind of be an indication that something's not right.
You would think, well, you would think with the president imaginary-elect doing his Thanksgiving presentation yesterday, he would have had more than 1,000 viewers on social media,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
He only got
Really?
1,000 viewers.
I
That's
think
it.
we've
Let's
had more than
back up.
that.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
He really truly did. 1,000 viewers.
Victorious rah-rah, all those 781.91% voting turnout in one district, you'd think that district alone would have there's more voters in that one 781.91% turnout than voted than applauded at Thanksgiving.
So Dianne,
And if you heard
I think most of us, I think we all agree that there's some crazy voter fraud going on and there's some crazy stuff going. I guess there's some people out there that are a little skeptical as to what all that's going to mean. Even if it's proven that there's voter fraud, how is that going to affect us? Like, what's going to be the outcome? How will it be proven? And is the programs that we're using to find this information, is it going to be valid? Is it going to be useful in a court of law?
So I think this is where the Kraken comes in, correct, Dianne? Where you crack the Kraken?
Well, here's what I did. You know how Trump always says something and they say he's stupid, and then it comes out to be something real valid?
Yep.
Well, when she said I'm releasing the Kraken, and she wasn't laughing, she had a real straight face, and she was adamant about it. And then I even wrote the Kraken. I even wrote an article saying that, Titan Quest, or not Titan Quest, but
Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans. And I thought, wow, you go, girl. And then I got to thinking, wait a minute, Kraken. That can't be about Titan, a Titan monster. It has to mean something, because she's not that kind of gal. She's calling everything out. She's calling them. She's saying they're going to jail. She's talking it out. So she's not playing around. So I Googled Kraken military, and I came right to space-based weaponry, came right there on the military, and anybody that says, oh, is that really real? Google it. She told everybody. Everything I found out is what she said between her and between Rudy and between Trump. They told us everything. But everybody's waiting for somebody to give them a printout. I went and I looked at all the clues they gave us, and it was all right there. And knowing what I already knew from following these things for years, I saw he's doing it now. He's going to take action, and he's taking action. It's time. And the action he's taking is he's taking back America for the people. That's what we wanted. That's why we voted for him. That's why 80 million turned out. It's pretty bad when Biden is telling everybody on his campaign trail before the election that he is fighting for the souls of America. He's right. The souls of America were at stake. And Trump comes out and says, we're fighting for America, and that he gets fact checked. Wrong. But Biden can say we're fighting for the souls of America, and you need to vote for him because and then at the same time, while they're in their little president-elect, and even before, they're going out talking about how they're going to put us in re-education camps, and they're going to find every Trump supporter, and they're going to get them, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
How dare they? How
Dianne,
dare they do that?
how did it feel once your article was being retweeted by the President of the United States? How did that feel when you
I
saw
tell you
that
what,
hit the
I
headlines?
haven't even, I got to be honest with you, I haven't felt it yet. I just felt like, I feel like I'm on a mission to help save America. And the fact that the Commander-in-Chief said, yes, you're on the right track. Yes, that's what we're doing. I felt like, yes, sir. And I'm off doing the next thing. It's like, yes, sir. I haven't had a chance to slow down enough to say, oh, my God. And then Sidney Powell. I had somebody tweet me or comment on the Marshall report. What's the greatest thing in the world, having Trump retweet or Sidney Powell? Both. Or kind of something like that. How do you feel? Congratulations.
I saw what
and I said, I don't know. Oh my God, that's right. That happened. And I was excited with Lynn Wood because Lynn Wood, he had been out there and he is the one that verified it first. Before Trump verified it, Lynn Wood told somebody that asked, is this accurate? He said everything in it is accurate because he was tweeting it first. And
why don't we let people know who Lynn Wood is real quick?
Oh, Lynn Wood is the attorney. Well, he's a great white-collar crime attorney. He's represented people in the Enron scandal in the past, but he's also currently representing Sandman, and the one that sued CNN and got $200 million for Sandman in that scandal with the Indian man. He also right now is in the one defending the guy, is it Richter, who got arrested for defending himself by Antifa and Black Lives Matter. They were going to kill him, and he was guarding a property with somebody else so that they wouldn't destroy it. And then they went and he was prepared. They weren't. They had guns and they had knives, and they went at him with guns and knives.
Wow.
But he shot him. He shot two of them to save his own life. And Woods is representing him. He finally got him out of jail. He'd been in jail since then. They got him out of jail, and he knows he's going to get him off. But this, and he's doing that pro bono. He did both pro bono.
And this is what's interesting, and the media don't really even hit on any of this stuff.
No, because that doesn't prove, that's not with their narrative.
Right.
That's not with their narrative.
When Sidney Powell retweeted your article, and she put "who knew" with emojis of laughter, I mean, that's not a lot.
Because I think it's because a small blogger comes out.
You're actually, you're a novelist of several books, and you've had this
no,
blog
but I
site
mean
for a
in the
while.
scope. I'm talking in the scope of CNN, Fox, Tucker Carlson. I am not in that league. I am a commentator.
I think you're in the Patriots league, if you ask me.
Well, I'm a blogger. I figured it out. I put it out there, and I took a risk because it was like it's time.
Yes, it is.
This is what's happening. My gosh. I mean, when you look at it and you see, this is the space base. This is why he kicked Highway out of here. If people, you just got to be watching and put the news in. Remember, Trump has done executive orders. He has everything along the way. So you put all the dots connect. You look at how he kicked Highway out because of cybersecurity and safety, and nobody was going to interfere with our space-based program and our cybersecurity. And so you look at that and the different things he put in place. So you go and you look at our space-based program and our cybersecurity program. It's with the Department of Defense, and it's called the Kraken.
Yeah, so your headline is called Holy Radar. That's the Kraken. Who knew it is a Department of Defense cyber warfare program? So, this has just gone everywhere, worldwide.
Yes, and I think that's why she said, who knew? Question marks and the laughy emojis. Because I knew. Who else knew? Who knew? Nobody knew. I knew. That's why I went over almost 3 million people in a day. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then once it filtered out, just like a little ripple in the water, somebody threw a little pebble out there, and it rippled out, and then everybody came and took it and took it and took it. And then finally, people took it, and I could breathe because I was constantly okaying comments and stuff. And it's like, whoa, that's not what I want to write more articles. It was like all night long.
We're going back on tweet trying to get confirmed from Sidney Powell, and many others have tweeted, is this correct? And they were stating, yes, this is accurate. But Scott had a question for you on this.
So this Kraken thing says that it tracks systems and acquires evidence of activities and crimes committed by the deep state. Can you explain how it does that?
Oh, they have great algorithms.
So let me ask you this. I guess the biggest question is, to me, if someone told me that Obama had put something in place to basically spy using computers on the entire government and everyone involved, I would be a little concerned because it sounds almost like Watergate in a modern-day Watergate kind of a situation. So why would that be different if Trump does it? And how will that help the Trump campaign if this is not a normal, I'll say, legal means of acquiring information?
Well, first off, this is our Department of Defense. This is our first line of defense. This is what knocks missiles out of the air so they don't come and land on Manhattan, okay? He's the commander-in-chief. He is over the head of all the military. He's the one that decides to push a button or no button, okay? He's got the black box. He is over the military. He has to defend America, and he has sworn to defend America against attacks of enemies, foreign and domestic. This was an inside job with outside oligarchs controlling their inside puppets.
The issue that I think that America's going to have, or some of America's going to have, is, and this is controversial. I'll say this is controversial before I even say it. Many would consider the Democrats not to be a military, foreign affair, dead to war type situation. Some would, and maybe rightly so, because I'm not real sure where they are and what they think. But since the rest of the government is not military, I understand the president has control over the military, but this system is looking at things that are more political instead of things that are more geographical or national. Is that a problem?
For years, since 9/11, they've kept us under lock and quiet because we're on war on terror. Okay, but here's what happened, and this was a beautiful chess move. Trump did not. He knows the art of war. You do not go into battle until the war is won. And he won the war, and he started moving his pieces. It was very planned. Here is what he did. One of the pieces he moved. He's moving all kinds of pieces. We don't even see those. But according to the voting fraud, they were able to detect. They had their National Guard in every place, and they were on computers. And they were watching everything. He was already watching. They were already plugged in to the Dominion. So they already had the evidence before they got, but they have to prove it in a court. So they had to have the original servers that they were getting their information off of. So what he did was he removed Esper, in charge of the Department of Defense. He moved in Miller. And while everybody's screaming about that, Miller did the paperwork, and they sent a military crew over to Eurocom, which is in Frankfurt, Germany, where they had the CIA, okay? It's called Eurocom, and it's a military compound for the CIA. And they sent over, you have to have military escort to get in there. So he sent the military over, and he also sent with them Secret Service police to confiscate the servers. And so they had to turn them over because they had a military escort, and they had their warrants to get the servers. And that because he did it that way, it went directly to the Department of Justice and not to the CIA and not to the FBI and not to NSA or any of those alphabets. It went right to the Department of Justice, so no one could tamper with it. And they could use it as evidence, and they got right away, they got their decoders on there looking at the fraud, and boy, did they find it. And now that drove the left crazy, because guess what? They were situated in Frankfurt, Germany. Now, this is my speculation on it. Nobody else is saying anything. But I also put together the pieces that there were voter fraud and there were 4 nations that they just met on the 11th at one of their New World Order software programs, which is called, what is it called? I won't worry about what it's called. But I'll think of it in a minute. They met, I did a story on it. They met to discuss the voter fraud that had taken place. And this voter fraud to work out the bugs. Because what was happening is mail-in voting is the way of the future, okay? All the COVID nations, which is the whole world, had to vote by mail because we all have COVID, right? We can only go to the big box stores and buy stuff. We all have COVID.
Yeah,
and
big corporations, billion-dollar companies, yes.
Yes.
Small businesses. Yep.
So what happened was they ended up with a problem. The problem was they were facing voter charges and issues in all the states. They just had elections, like Lithuania, Republic of Moldova, Ukraine, and the U.S. And now they met, but this is before the Kraken came out, and before they went to do it, they were sitting high and mighty. They got their little CIA stuff all under control. It's all in Frankfurt, and they're controlling the Europe. That's why it's in Europe. Everybody's going, why is it in Europe? Because they're doing it all over worldwide, and they had to take care of Lithuania, Republic of Moldova, and Ukraine also.
This is just crazy.
I know, they're sitting there, and okay. And who knows how many antennas and arms this thing has, because you can be anywhere. You can be in a basement working this stuff. But that is where the servers are, okay? And so what we end up with, in my article, and you can find it's in the Marshall Report, it's called Kraken Exposes U.S. and Global Voting Fraud. Fake news continues to shout no proof. And in there, you see the dilemma, because this is all part of Lockstep that they've been planning for a long time, that came out of the Rockefeller Foundation. Lockstep, they were going to do a pandemic. Toilet paper would be scarce. They wouldn't even be able to find that.
They're doing it again. I mean, it's happening again. It's ridiculous.
No, it hadn't happened yet. They had it planned for over 10 years. They pulled it. They put it into, they put Lockstep. They put Lockstep in place, of which in there, it's on the internet. You can find it. Just Google Lockstep. It's not that I have the secret stuff. That's the problem. Is people don't get off and ask the right questions on Google.
So Dianne, the question I guess would be, so what does this all mean? When's it all going to come down? Is it going to make a difference?
Well, here's what Lockstep says. The outcomes of the scenario of a deadly viral strain that kills 20% of the global population, mainly healthy young adults. Well, it went old people because they weren't ready. They released it too soon because Trump was going to be elected. It was all political. The deadly effect on economics, they say, industry, tourism, and supply chains. Oh, it's going to affect that. Well, didn't we see that? Shops will sit empty for months. Oh, we weren't essential. This was planned 10 years ago. Western countries' deadly leniency is blamed for containment failure. Aren't they doing that now? The Karens of the world, they're saying we have spread it. Fauci's out there right now saying what he's supposed to say, that we're not contained, and that's why it's failing.
Dianne, what are your thoughts of what's going to happen now? That's, this article is giving so much hope back to people. A lot of people are very angry this article came back because they think it's a big conspiracy theory that's happening. I feel very good about everything.
Let me finish this, and you will see what's happening. China's quick, mandatory quarantines, and near hermetic sealing off borders saves millions. That happened. World leaders flex their muscles, requiring face masks and body temperature checks at public places like grocery stores and train stations. That's happened. Pandemic controls measures are intensified. That happened. Happy Thanksgiving. Citizens give up privacy to paternalized state with mandatory biometric IDs. That's about to happen. They wanted it to. And some nations it is happening. Africa, Southeast Asia, and Central America suffered disappropriate losses in absence of containment protocols. That happened. So here's the outcomes. More controlled world results in restored order and economic growth despite regulations, stifling innovation, keeping costs high, and curbing adoption of new tech. Virulent nationalism rises. Nationalist IP policies, especially encryption, stifle IT innovations and diffusion of technology. Civil unrest resumes in the developing world despite Chinese investment, and it goes on and on, okay? Here's what's happening. This all happens, and it leads into unrest and a World War III, which is now on the horizon with Iran, and they're accusing Israel Whether it really happened or whether it's a false flag, I don't know, because it's all conspiracy, right? None of this is happening. It's all just some big
That's what I
conspiracy.
said, it's conspiracy truth. I'm sick
It
of
is
the
a
theories.
fact. The whole
Yeah.
thing. What part of this looks logical? All of this is leading in.
Scott's big question he has, and this is where we kind of disagree a little bit. I feel like Trump's going to win this, and he's going to stay our president for another 4 years.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like Biden is going to win this, even though I believe it is totally fraudulent. I totally agree, and I hope that I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that it's going to, all of this is going to be too little, too late, or if the truth does come out and it's very, very apparent, everyone agrees this is what really actually happened and what the situation is, half of the people still won't care, and the election will still stand as it is, and it will just cause civil war.
Obviously, what the people need to understand is that Trump has a war chest of things he hasn't even used yet.
He has a,
We
yeah.
are in a state
It's
of
like we're not
war.
even in checkmate yet.
No, we're in a state of war. We're also under a state of emergency. He has Emergency Powers Act. He can shut everybody down and take over every state if he wanted to, but he's trying. If he did that, he wouldn't have all the evidence on him.
I feel
the
like the
problem-
world is a huge chess thing going on, like a huge chess
Yes.
game. World is a
Absolute-
huge chess game, and I'm just a pawn. I'm just the little guy
Well, let
in
me
the
tell
back.
you, Scott. Let me tell you. I'm going to let you in on my next article that I wrote this morning, but I have it because I figured it out. I figured out the chess game.
Yeah.
Where Sidney Powell keeps saying it's going to be biblical, and now she's getting bashed by Christians saying, "Oh, you can swear anything's biblical." Well, I wrote this. When they piss me off, excuse my language, I have to defend these people who are defending us. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's how this all started. I got mad. I was defending the people who were defending us, who knew. She said it's going to be biblical. And my question was, I wonder if she knows just how true that is, because she knows the evil plans they have devised, and she's mad as a hornet.
Yes, she is.
Sydney is like a mama guarding her youngins, which just happen to be we the people, and I love it.
Lady Liberty. I love her.
Yes,
Love her.
but it doesn't stop there. She's also concerned for all humanity, and she stands up and fights for good for all. She is. I mean, there's probably 500 charities that she's helping promote for humanity, that real ones, not sustainable development ones, and not Agenda 21 ones.
So what's the chess move?
Okay, so she knows the devious plan, and it is biblical. And so for those who want to know, here it is. This is their plan. Create a pandemic.
Yep.
Lock down the people.
Yep.
Condition them to obey.
Yep.
Initiate fear of not being able to go out to vote.
Yep.
Woo. In the beginning in March, they said it might be a year. Oh, and they weren't kidding. Remedy the problem with mail-in voting on a world level. We thought it was just us.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they did this on a world level. Control the votes through Dominion cyber software voting systems. Worldwide, pick the new national leaders from the hand-picked and groomed selections. Make sure votes swing to their favor. Use the pandemic that was planned all along to reset all nations. They're talking about reset now, right?
Yes. Yes.
That are now bankrupt into a new world standard and usher in the new world order. This is the world order plans with one big problem. They didn't count on President Trump and his massive support of patriots.
That's right.
And it's biblical. And in this exact way, the oligarchs, who are the great merchants of the earth, that's what I call them, they're the ones that have deceived all these nations, caused them to blow up their own people, their own box chain stores, collect all the money. They own all the box chain stores. We don't. Small businesses are not big box chains. They're closing them down.
Yes.
You can't buy from them during the pandemic because of COVID, but you can herd 500 people through Menards. The Karens need to wake up. Their own exchange collect all the money there is to be spent, while all other businesses are shut down and many driven out of business permanently by design. No one can buy or sell unless they have the name, mark, or number of the mark, which is looking like a vaccine in many nations. And already we have witnessed checkouts that take no cash, only a card.
True.
The only businesses that make money are the box chains. That's a monopoly. Soon it will be a government debit card with allotted money after we reset to be spent, ration per household, and accepted at only the major box stores who are on the government list. Because we're in a pandemic. A weakened population full of Karens will be hungry enough to do as they are told just to survive, or see the consequences of resisting and conform. The great merchants will have control over the elections and decide who leads the people in the designated areas in their world order, and their genocide. They will genocide all problem humans who resist, along with the elderly, disabled, and any they deem undesirable. The entire scenario continues until it is the worst possible scenario for humankind. Oligarchs at the top have control of everything. The end. But God, in my view, God has another plan, and it is written in His Word, and that says that the great merchants of the earth fall. They weep and wail at the burning of their great new world order that shall never be built, and all the nations will take back their crowns, and they will hate these evil ones and destroy them. This is where we are, people. We're at Babylon the Great. Babylon the Great are the great merchants, the oligarchs of the earth, and the ones who give their crowns over to the plans for 1 hour. We got 1 hour. We're in it. We're in that final hour. Those are the globalists riding the beast, and that beast is their new world order, Babylon the Great. And rest assured, I believe the angel of the Lord told, just like he told John the Baptist, or John the Revelator, that Babylon falls, to hold the line, pray, and know the Lord has this, for He has given us a leader and a powerful army to lead the way. The archangels will do the rest, and we've been told how the story ends. Read your Bible.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're pretty much at a point where instead of relying on everyone else and everything else in the world, we should be at a point where we're getting the information ourselves and doing it according to what we know is good and right and fair. We got to get going, but I want to say, Dianne, that was some amazing information, and we appreciate it. I feel like this particular reality check was maybe more of a reality checkmate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, John Kerry. Guess what John Kerry's calling for real quick? He wants to push, he was calling for global, for people to stop, to reset. We have to have a great reset and stop the rise of populism, which populism is the concern for everyday, ordinary people.
Now,
we have to stop
why
worrying
don't
about.
we share with the viewers on who John is, because a lot of people don't know these names, so they can go ahead and do research on them as well.
Oh, John Kerry. Well, he was the Secretary of State under Obama, and he's the one that's been breaking the Logan Act, talking with Iran to this whole Trump administration and on their nuclear energy and all this stuff, telling them it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay, just give it a little more time, we're going to get somebody else in office. And the guy's going to go, he's a traitor.
Dianne is just full of so much information. You know, it's information that we don't hear on the media anymore, and this is why the bloggers such as yourself are now the new media, because you back up your information as well. So for the people that want to know, you go to themarshallreport.wordpress.com, follow all Dianne's blogs. In her blogs, you will see a lot of her research on where you can go through and kind of confirm on what she is sharing with you. Dianne, you know, you had a book that you wrote almost a decade ago called Sly Foxes, Wolves, and Men. They're sold out, and basically what you wrote about is where we are right now at this very moment.
All the same people are in the headlines now. It's like almost
and
like
this is what's
my
very
book
interesting.
Is out now.
Just
I was ahead of myself. Nobody believed anything in the book. They called it, oh, that's just a bunch of conspiracy garbage. Everything in there now is headlines. It's in the headlines.
They are.
But I cited all my sources then. Nobody even, and I told them what sustainable
Well, it's
development.
just like, you know, Sidney Powell told people go on her website. You'll find it all there. You did. And you started finding all the answers for the people, and you wrote it out really well. And I'd highly recommend everyone to go
She told people before Tucker said, "Where's the evidence?" She said, "Go to Dominion's website. It's on there. They tell you even a child can hack into the system." I went on there and she was right. I started watching the videos how to hack into Dominion.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be a part of the voter group, and I put a whole blog thing on there. I was like amazed. There's like 5 or 10 videos on how to do different things, how to put your little thumb drive in, which, by the way, 47 of them are missing in Pennsylvania. 47 thumb drives that they were bump, and you're not supposed to do that. Well,
We got to have her back on the show.
Yeah, we'll have to have.
Because so much is happening every minute.
It's happening
every
so
hour.
fast that it's hard to keep
Yes.
up with everything.
And, you know, we want to thank you for coming
Yeah, thank you so
on.
much, Diane, for coming and being,
And thanks for
being part of
cracking the
stuff.
Kraken. I mean,
You got it. It's all America.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so very much, and we want to thank you for joining us on this edition of Reality Check. We'll see you next time.
Yes.
Don't give up
I also
hope.
want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out.
She's still going.
She's still here.
She's still going.
13th generation patriot. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to get this out to the people who needed to see it and go viral.
There you go. And also, thank you, Donald Trump, our president, for retweeting it. And Sidney Powell, thank you so much. We would love to have you on our show, Sidney. I
Rudy
love
and
you.
Jenna
You are
and-
such an
and
amazing woman, and do not stop. You're gonna drain those little rats in that swamp. I love it. Thanks, guys. All right, Diane, we will talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Till next time.
This is another reality check. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.